My charger. Where's the color? In your bag. To do for the video I'm gonna make in the Dominican. I asked him.
You got everything, Christine?
Yeah, the dog. This is actually insane that you only have this much stuff.
I know, right?
Yeah, that was
Thank you, thank you. Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
Hi.
To your drop at the United Airlines.
We're getting a couple of.
Yay!
Oh yeah.
So see, for y'all, it just gives you a chance with your floor and your ceiling, you got plenty of room.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a step.
Well, see, the one we have now has a little step, but so
Yay!
we don't have the ones we have now doesn't have rear windows either.
I like the windows.
Yeah.
It's our van, guys! Hey, gang!
How we
As you
doing?
can tell, we have our van finally.
This is our new van,
New van.
the one we ordered a year ago.
Right. If you don't know me, my name is Christine IC, my husband Matt. We've kind of started this whole van series with the minivan, if you haven't gotten check that out. But now we've upgraded to our
A big van.
new Ford Transit.
So the van we have now, just to keep you updated, is a 2022 Ford Transit 250 all-wheel drive with an EcoBoost motor and the 10-speed transmission. We went with the 250 versus the 350 just because of the cost part of it, but then we don't feel like we need the extra weight. We're going to try to keep this lightweight, and part of that is because we need to keep the gross vehicle combined weight down so we can tow. Because of the overall projected weight, it fit fine into a 250, so why pay the extra for a 350 if we don't need that extra towing? All-wheel drive, obviously, we live in the north. We definitely have snow up here. We don't really plan on taking it off-road, but I don't want to shy away from places that we would want to go, so all-wheel drive was important to us there. The high roof and the non-extended length. So it's a 148 wheelbase, but not the longer one.
Correct.
And we did that because this fits in a normal parking space.
Most importantly, who thought we were never going to get one?
We didn't think we were going to get one enough, so we bought another one, and obviously a used one, and so that's
Yes.
actually, we think we have that sold now.
Yes, which is really cool, and it'll just help with everything, the whole transition. This is now the new chapter of this van is building it out. Just waiting for the van was a whole process. He was exhausted just driving home because I think the whole stress of everything.
Well, you're going to notice it's done, but that really, in Ford speak, means it's close, and then it's shipped, which actually doesn't mean it's shipped, which means it's moved to a holding lot to get shipped 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. So it's been exhausting. But either way, we flew out to Kansas City here yesterday and drove back and put some miles on the van, and it was definitely worth it. There's a number of things with this van that we like that the 2020 doesn't have. Some electronic things, the side sensing, so forth, that really make this our choice for sure to convert.
Right. So a lot of you might be asking why we chose going to Kansas City to go get our van instead of choosing somewhere local.
Yeah.
Well, two big reasons. One is the Ford Transits are made in Kansas City.
Yes.
That's where the manufacturing plant is.
Which that helps then on shipping. Because these are so tall, they have to be shipped by rail, and then from rail on a special transporter to the dealer.
Right.
So if you live like we do, kind of in the country, it has to make a number of steps in that process, and that definitely can add time. There are some people who has added very little, but there's some people who's added months and months on there. So
Right.
because of that, we thought getting it to at a closer dealership to the plant would be quicker on shipping because they only have to transport it then 6 miles.
Correct. Person we are in connection with, Crew Van Man.
Yeah, on the forums he's listed as Crew Van Man. Ed's his name.
Yep.
And he's out of Gary Crosley Ford. And that's who we ordered from. He just knows a lot about these vans. That's the other problem is if your dealer doesn't do a lot of these, there's a lot of ins and outs on the Transits, as far as getting different options and what they all mean, and even getting them ordered and through that process that he has an inside track on that some dealers just don't. And it's not a big slight on those dealers, but if you don't order a lot, then you don't know a lot about the Transits.
Correct, because back in the summer, we actually had to take out one item, which was the power sliding door, because they are no longer making it. Or
Well, they
having
can't
an
get the
add-on.
parts, right? And so we were told that if you want a van this year, take out the power sliding door, and that you have to do that. So we did, and it's funny actually. The person that is buying the 2020 had ordered a 2022 and was told it wasn't getting built from the power sliding door. Same thing, went to his dealer and
Right.
says, "Hey, remove that," and his dealer said, "We can't." So it's just things like that some dealers, just because they don't happen to deal with it a lot, can't maneuver around as well as if you
Right.
do.
We have dealt with Gary Crosley Ford dealer in Kansas City and the Root Crew Van Man. And shout out to Kayla, who has had to hear my husband every day.
That's not true. I didn't call her every day. Recently, I called her a bunch, but I didn't call her every day. Email her. But yes, I mean, again, I'm sure she deals with it all the time. People,
Right.
we've waited now 11 months. So you get anxious and you want to know what's going on, and you
Yeah.
sit here and you get a message from Ford, an email from Ford that says your van's been built. So you think, okay, great. But then it still takes forever for the process to keep going, and you then call the dealership. What's that mean? And they're like, well, we don't know at this point in time where it is. So,
Right. Shout out to her and Gary Crosley Ford dealer. They were very nice, and once we got there, everything it was smooth. It was a smooth deal, smooth transition, and
Yeah.
it was quick.
Signed out the paperwork, and
Yep.
the walkthrough. That is another benefit of
God.
going with somebody who knows a lot about these vans.
That was so detailed. I was like, oh wow. I mean, I feel like now I know all about
every
the
every
van.
little button, every little switch, every little feature. There was a ton that was gone through, just to be familiar with it. And eventually, you'll get through all those things by looking through it. But
Right.
we've driven the 2020 quite a bit, and there was things on that are on this also that I
Weren't
didn't know.
there. Yeah.
Well, no,
yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't know what they
Right,
were
until he
for.
pointed it out. I'm like, oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that is a benefit then.
Yes, and I think with Crew Van Man, he does know the ins and out, what's taking off, or he kind of has maybe a heads up closer to what's going to happen in the future or not, or kind
Well,
of
he keeps track of it
Yeah.
well and has some connections, people that he talks to at the plant or with the transportation companies and
Yeah.
things like that. So there is again,
There was a
we
bonus.
found it as a benefit, and
Yeah.
again, even though it is a flight out and a drive back, in that there's an expense to that, but also because of their volume, they were good to us on pricing, and that helped offset that.
Right. Now, from now on, you're going to actually get some van life videos because Matt has already started. He has been itching. We have a garage full of stuff.
Oh, we're ready to go. We're ready to go. We're going to
he's
have
been
holes
buying-
in here in the next couple
He
days.
is buying tools. He's ready to go. The weather here is changing, so we have to get certain things already started because of the adhesives, the glue.
Yeah, anything that has to be above 50 degrees for
Yeah.
more than 24 hours, we're going to get pretty close here. We're not going to have over 50 degrees for days in a row.
Certain things are going to start happening. She's going to get all kind of put holes in.
But that's the steps.
Right. But just so make sure you hit that like button and to subscribe and that notification bell so you'll always know when I post a video. I will try to get them up on a more timely manner, but I am creating a Instagram account for just van only. I have a lot in my life, so it'll be just van. Just van. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and help us out through more views, share it, just follow along on our journey because this will be really interesting.
The exciting part starts now.
It's time to move it. Bye.